Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's we'll be comparing the Ford F-150 XLT to the Chevy Silverado RST. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Jerry Sander Chevy here in Salt Lake and to the Super Ford here in Salt Lake for giving me some time with both the trucks. I'll include a link to both their websites in the description down below, and then as always, link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get into it. Powering the Ford is a twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 16 around town and then 24 on the highway, with power outputs being 400 horsepower and then 500 pound-feet of torque. Powering the Silverado is a 5.3-liter V8 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 15 around town and then 19 on the highway, with power outputs being 355 horsepower and then 383 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So both of these trucks have a sporty package on them, RST there, and then we've got black appearance package on the XLT. But look at the design language difference. So notice how the Ford's hood is actually lower and the truck kind of pinches a little bit, whereas this is more upright and the hood is taller. So it's completely different design language with both of them, even though they're both kind of sporty packages. And then popping to the side here, you can see somewhat similar tire and wheel setup. So we've got 18-inch wheels here on the Ford, and then with the Chevy here, we've got 20-inch wheels, but both of them have all-terrain tires. So that's kind of like a similarity. And then notice the badging is all blacked out. Same thing with the mirror caps, but the Chevy is actually painted. Both of them has fixed side steps, which is kind of interesting. And then if we kind of pop down the side here, you can see that both trucks utilize leaf springs. Here's the side profile on the F-150, and then here's the side profile with the Silverado. Now taking a look at the Silverado, you can see we've got protection from the factory in the bed. We also have LED bed lights, we've got an outlet as well, and yeah, decent amount of space. And with the tailgate, it's very light. With the Ford, this one doesn't have bed line or anything like that. We do have LED lights. We also have an outlet in the bed, which the Chevy usually has it on the other side if it does. Yeah, we got an outlet in the bed of the Chevy too, so both of them have outlets, which is cool. Tailgate in the Ford's a little bit heavier because it's got the step, but not hard to get up. And then you can see here with the Ford, got the new taillight design and everything, versus the Chevy. Again, the Chevy's kind of more upright, even the taillight's more upright with the design. In the back of the Chevy, you can see legroom is really good. Got a little storage pocket, some cup holders, we got some USBs and all of that. And then this has these nice seats, got the seat storage as well, which is a cool feature. But yeah, really nice trim for kind of like a middle line package. Same with the door panel. Look at the door panel with the trim a little more upscale looking. And then headroom, it's good. And then in the back of the Ford, we also have really good room. Got a little storage pocket there, cup holders, you can see with the vents, charging ports, all of that. Cloth seats in the Ford, so a little bit of a different setup. And then you do have some nice material use on the door panel with the Ford. And then headroom, it's good. And let's start up the Chevy. Ooh, V8. Before we go over the gauge cluster, again with the door panel trim here on the Chevy, I think that's nice. Look at our window controls, just the driver one's automatic. And let's actually check out the payload quickly. So 1,717 pounds, so that's a good payload. And you can see here with the driveline select, do have an advanced four-wheel drive system here, drive mode select, then you can see the tow haul mode. Notice with the light controls there. And then on the steering wheel, you can see we've got the controls in the front, you got radio controls in the back, heated steering wheel as well, paddle shifters there for the 10-speed. And then full digital gauge cluster here with the Silverado. 360 camera system in reverse, which is definitely a nice feature to have. Good resolution with it. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, and you can see quick response time, we got the shortcut bar there, main tab as well. And then you got a bunch of controls down below. So main stuff, you got like tailgate drop down, lane departure, hill descent control. You can roll down all the windows at once, which is pretty fun. Trailer brake controls, and then we've got our dual zone climate controls with heated seats. And then you've got your whole kind of sort of storage area, but we also have the shifter there. Center console, which has good storage, wireless phone charging pad, got a nice trim, and more nice trim on the dash all across. Double glove box with the Silverado there, and then you can see with the mirror, power rear setting window. And then I checked earlier, MSRP, you can kind of see the window sticker there, about 66K on this. And let's start up the Eco Beast. Ooh. So going with the door panel, just kind of look at the trim. Front two windows are actually automatic, so you got more automatic windows than the Ford. Blind spot with the mirrors too. And then payload on this is 1,805 pounds. So a bit more payload than the Chevy. Got some like light controls and everything here on the side. And here's a quick look at the steering wheel with the Ford. Pretty cool design. No heated steering wheel with the Ford, interestingly enough. But we do have a big digital gauge cluster now, standard. And then this actually has a 360 camera system. Pretty good resolution overall. And then infotainment system, easy to use, shortcut bar, somewhat similar setup, somewhat similar. Got Pro trailer on the F-150, which is pretty cool. And then you can see trailer brake controls. Unlike the Chevy, does not have an advanced four-wheel drive system, just a regular 2-speed transfer case. Does have a rear locking differential, which is nice. It's selectable, right? Dual zone climate with heated seats. And then you can see with the wireless phone charging pad, cup holders here, and then you got our shifter for 10-speed. And the center console is pretty nice as well. The overall setup here, double glove box, just like the Chevy, and then we have the power setting window. And then MSRP on this is a little bit less, it's about 63K. Let's talk about visibility here on the XLT. Here's visibility over the hood. Both mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. And then the rear. So let's set off. This XLT seems to be the best value I've seen so far with the new F-150. I've reviewed, what have I reviewed so far? Platinum, Raptor, Lariat, STX, XL. Yes, I think I've pretty much touched, you know, most of the major packages. And here's the reason why this one seems like the best value. It's got 360 camera, heated seats, dual zone climate. It's got a lot of luxury features, but it's significantly, it's more expensive than an STX, but it's not, I mean, with how expensive the STX is now, it's not like that much more. And then it's quite a bit less than a Lariat. So, I don't know. Anyways, when it comes to ride quality, the new F-150, it's a comfortable truck. Basically, even though it has leaf springs and a solid rear axle and all that, it's, I mean, over bumps and everything, it does a pretty good job. And it's got a lightweight feel to it. And so it's still a pickup truck, but it drives more car-like compared to the other pickup trucks because of that lightweight feel. And something to mention, the amber lights on this, those are like the daytime running lights. So when you're just driving down the road, you've got amber lights, not the same as a Raptor, but it kind of has more of that look. I think it looks really cool again with this black appearance package. You can kind of see it when you like in the reflection of things. I don't know, I dig it. I think they did a really good job. Like this new XLT, I think looks significantly better than the outgoing XLT, if you ask me. But with that being said, let's get an acceleration here. See how this 3.5 Eco Beast performs. Yeah, it's quick. It is quick. So, yeah, again, I've driven quite a bunch of new F-150s. This, for the 24 model year, if you don't know, this is more of a refresh rather than a full-on redesign. So they've kind of changed the look of the truck more than anything else. And then, you know, obviously interior updates. The biggest interior update is everything has this now. Every single truck I've reviewed for 24 has the big infotainment system and the digital gauge cluster. It's interesting to see both of those as standard. So let me think about the XLT. I think this is probably the best value in the, I mean, that's usually how the XLT sits. It's usually the best value. But yeah, I think that with the 24 model year, because I mean, it seems like the price on this went down compared to 23 with similar, like a similar option XLT. I feel like they were close to like 70 grand for 23. So it seems like this is less money with the MSRP, but more options for less money. So And that is, wow, they got a lot of Traxxas. Couldn't get those for a minute. Now there's quite a few. So let me know what you guys think about the XLT. Let me know what you think about the value proposition here. But I think that this is probably the best value you can get in the Ford lineup right now. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, both the mirrors, through the rest of the rear, and let us set off in Silverado. It's interesting how different the Silverado and the Ford feel compared to each other. Like here's kind of what it feels like is the Silverado and the Ram, they feel different, but they feel closer than the Ford and the Silverado, or a Ram and a Ford. That F-150, just with the aluminum body construction and everything, it just has a completely different feel compared to the other trucks on the market. It's more like, these feel more like traditional trucks in terms of the weighted, like the feel you get with the weight of the truck and everything, and just, yeah, just the overall size, whereas that, it feels like lighter, more car-like. It's very different. So yeah, aside from that, smooth so far. And I wonder what the temperature is outside. It's starting to feel a little bit chilly. It's not snowing, so it couldn't be that cold. Oh, 44 degrees. 44 degrees in rain. Not exactly the most comfortable on the planet, but you know, such is life sometimes. Such is life sometimes. Okay, so acceleration with this 5.3. Ooh. So even though this isn't as powerful as the Ford, you know, horsepower and torque, and we're at, so this part of Salt Lake is like 40, I think like 4,400 feet, 42, yeah, maybe it's close to that. Anyways, over 4,000 feet elevation, you know, turbocharged engines do better. So objectively, the Ford has more horsepower, more torque, and it's turbocharged. So it technically does better higher elevation, but the 5.3 is so like responsive, and it's a very muscular feeling powertrain, but it's a V8, right? You can't go wrong with the V8, and it sounds cool too. I think that's another part of it that's really appealing, if you ask me, is the sound of the 5.3. But yeah, the seats in this obviously going to be easier to clean. These people are so okay. Going to be easier to clean than the Ford seats, and they're relatively soft, so that is a plus. Oh, what the heck? Okay, so that was really weird. I was going forward because that person gave me some space, and the truck just turned off. I don't know if I did something wrong. I've never had that happen before. It was like literally the truck just, as I was pulling forward, it just turned off. It's so strange. Outside of that whole situation, that got me a little bit flustered, to be honest, because I mean, it was a traffic situation, and then there's like no power. The truck's not moving. It's like, what the heck? Drives well, comfortable, has more of a truck-like feel to it compared to the Ford, and I'll watch the footage afterwards. I'm sure I did. I feel like I had to have done something stupid to like make it so the truck just shut off. So let me know what you guys think about the Silverado versus the Ford. Let me know if you go Ford or if you would go Silverado RST with the options, engine, and all of that.